Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna start a new series where I'm gonna answer your questions, your most important questions in the form of videos, alright? So I receive a lot of questions on my Twitter DM or my email, and I try to answer all of them directly by typing, but I feel like there are some questions that are extremely valuable and it's better for me to answer them in a video. It's gonna be a lot easier, all right? And also, I like to share the answer and show the question, all right, to viewers so they can take the value also, all right? And I'm gonna try to pick the layered questions that they don't have like a straight answer or a direct answer. They need clarification, all right? And this is, guys, the type of questions that you really need to ask yourself to take your trading to the next level, not just technical concepts or level surface psychology, all right, but these things right here. So for example, this question or this person asked, all right, quick question, if you don't mind, I have been on a losing streak lately and I'm not sure if I should lower my risk or just keep it the same and trust the system. So how do you personally handle this? Like, when do you decide it's just a variance or just variance versus something actually off with the system? So I'm going to start doing videos about questions like this, all right? And to start directly by answering this one right here, before that, we need to remove the confusion from few things, all right? So the first thing is that a losing streak doesn't mean your system is broken, all right? We need to make this clear. But it also doesn't mean that your system is not broken. And we're gonna clarify that later on. The second thing that I want to talk about before answering this question is that not all losing streaks are created equally. Alright, so for example, we have two traders and both are in a losing streak, 4 trades losing streak, alright? It doesn't mean that you are in the same situation. So for example, I'm on a losing streak of 4 trades, you are in a losing streak of 4 trades. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are on the same boat. Again, I'm going to clarify that later on. The third thing is that your current trader identity or state, it dictates the right move here. Whether you should risk the usual amount or you should lower the risk until you get out of this losing streak. So 3 essential points. I'm not sure that I removed the confusion here, but when we dive deeper into the video, you can understand what I meant. The first thing that I said is that not all losing streaks are created equally, alright? That means we have different types of traders. So let's start with the first type, which is traders that have a proven system backed by statistics. Alright, so what do I mean by that? You have one setup or at max 2 setups, and you have gathered a lot of trades from backtesting, from demo trading about this setup, and you are almost 90% or 95% mechanical. And like I said in one of my previous videos, being mechanical, it doesn't mean entering the market blindly, but you know everything about that setup. You know the context, you know the environment, you know the higher time frame that you need to see in order for you to take that setup. You know everything about your setup, all right? Where to place your stop loss, where to enter, what do you do in this situation, what do you do in that situation. So you only leave that 10% or 5% room for discretion, all right? So that's the first type of traders. Now here we have 2 different situations. The first situation is that you are on a clean losing streak, all right? So what do I mean by clean losing streak? It means that you made absolutely no mistakes while executing the trades. The same trades that you took on backtesting and you gathered hundreds and hundreds of trades, all right? in backtesting or demo trading, you are taking the same ones, identical trades, and your system has 60, 50, 40% win rate. So that means that you are in extremely normal losing streak. All right, that's totally normal. For losing trades with a 50, 60, or 40% win rate is normal. But again, you need to take, or you need to make sure that you are taking the exact same trades. How do you know that? You're gonna know that, all right? If you have a system that is proven, you have statistics, you have gathered hundreds and hundreds of trades, you're gonna know whether you're taking the same trades or not, all right? You can't lie to yourself in these things, especially when you made or you invested a lot of hours into building your system. So you will just know. So what do you do in this particular situation? Should you lower the risk? No, you don't touch your risk here because you will ruin the probabilities. If you have a 40% win rate, for example, and you're in a 4 losing trade, all right, streak, it means that you are on the verge of a winning trade. That's just how the probabilities work. Yes, you don't know 100% whether the next or the fifth trade is going to be a loser or a winner, but it's likely to be a winner, all right? Now, it's likely to be a winner, or you might be on the verge of a winning streak. So can you see here? So touching the risk, lowering the risk right here is going to ruin the probabilities for you. After that losing streak ends of 4 or 5, you're likely going to see a normal sequence or a winning streak. So instead of getting back to track and recover the losses that you made, now you are just mitigating the risk or mitigating the losses and getting back to break even instead of getting on top again and continuing that smooth equity curve. All right, so in this situation, again, you don't touch the risk. So the answer here, you stay at the same risk. Now moving on to situation 2, which is the system is valid. All right, you have a proven system, like we said, with statistics, all right, but you're being sloppy with executions or with picking setups or whatever. You're taking maybe impulsive trades, or you hesitate during trades or during TPs, I don't know, putting your stop loss in the right place, or you are skipping entries, trades that you should have been taking but you didn't. So now it's a psychology problem and not a system one. So what do you do in this situation where you have a proven system? You should not be taking these losers. You're taking a losing streak, but not because it's part of the system probabilities, but because you're being sloppy and you know it. All right, so what do you do in this case? You simply lower the risk. All right, you lower the risk to reduce the pressure. Your objective here is not to get back to break even or to mitigate that loss. Why did we lower the risk right here? Is to train yourself to execute your system perfectly with absolutely no pressure. So when you lower the risk, that gives you room to retrain your behavior, all right, without the punishment of losses. And we all go through this. So again, your objective here is to give yourself, let's say, a tolerant environment to train yourself to execute and to pick your setups flawlessly. So now moving on to the second type of traders who have no or have unproven system or no system traders. So it doesn't mean that they are trading randomly, but they are relying heavily on experience. All right, and I know a lot of traders who trades this way. All right, they just flow with the market, they rely on their memory, and they take trades based on their understanding of price, based again on experience, the hundreds of trades that they took on the past, and the hundreds of hours they invested in front of the chart. All right, so they don't have that one setup that they're looking at all the time. No, when they have a big conviction on where price might go next, they take that trade. So these type of traders, you have also two situations right here. The first situation is that you are skilled and you base your trading on the flow, all right? You have no fixed system. So you have a track record, you have past challenges, had payouts, everything. You have proven that you know what you're doing, in other words, and you are in a losing streak right now. So how do you know whether you should lower the risk or you keep the risk as it is, whether this losing streak is normal? Because this way it's a bit hard to keep statistics on your setups and their win rate, and is this a normal losing streak or not? So what you're gonna do here is simply return to your journal and try to analyze the recent performance and the recent trades. So for example, the trade tags, all right, are they getting messier? All right, so what I mean by tags is that when you take a trade, all right, and you journal it, you're gonna have tags, meaning what was the context in the higher time frame, what did you see on the higher time frame, so different moving parts on the higher time frame. You go to the intermediate time frame or whatever, again different tags, what did you see here? So this is how you use tags. Also in the lower time frame, what kind of entry model you used, so everything, so the whole context of that trade, and you compare the tags, all right, with what you used to trade when you were performing well, all right? So see if there's a difference here. Maybe you have a fewer tags, so you don't have many confluences in the recent losing streak, all right? Maybe your R value is dropping, so maybe the market is losing momentum and most of your trades are reversing on you to hit a break even or stop loss, or maybe you're taking too much drawdown in each trade you take. So this tells you if the market changed behavior or there is something else. Maybe you went on autopilot, all right, you are overconfident and you're taking random trades, all right? So this right here can tell you whether you're having problems with reading the market. You don't have that high prediction rate like in the past, all right? You don't know where the market is going. Your journal will answer this for you. So if the answer is yes, you're gonna lower the risk and you wait till the market behavior is gonna be in your favor again, or the answer is no and you keep going, and it can be just a simple variance, all right? A simple, normal losing streak and nothing to worry about. So that's situation number one. Situation number two, when you have no proven or particular setup that you have a lot of data about it, but in this situation you also have no track record, so you have no real success using your skills, all right, or using this methodology where you're relying on your experience or your skills, all right? So you're trading based on feelings, you have no database, you have no consistent edge, all right? So when the losing streak hits, you can't really tell if it's, I don't know, bad luck or a bad system. So here I advise you not just to lower the risk, but to stop trading completely, and you need a full evaluation mode, all right? You need to stop trading. You have no system in place, you have no track record, and you can't just rely on your experience and your skill where you're not even profitable in backtesting. So what are you expecting? So stop, all right? Go to your backtesting, trade the way that you want to trade in live trading. It doesn't have to be one particular setup. If you want to rely on your tape reading, your experience, watching price, and you take trades that are high probability based on what you saw before, go with that, but you need to prove that you are able to make profit, at least on backtesting, and you go to demo trading and so on. So you need to prove yourself, take 1 to 3 months in demo and backtesting to verify that you actually have the necessary skills, and then you can evaluate whether a losing streak is normal or not. So to summarize things up, and to finish this video, ask yourself these 3 questions, all right? Am I executing clean? Are my setups still valid? Am I emotionally tilted? If the answer is yes, 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 on the 3 questions, keep the same risk. If you answer no on the first question, yes on the same question, on the second question, and no on the third question, you can lower the risk slightly. Alright? If you answer no on the 3 questions, you need to stop completely and you need to rebuild. If you take a pause for 3 months, believe me, you're gonna do yourself a favor. You're not missing on anything. The only thing that you're missing out on when you take a 6-minute, or I'm sorry, a 3 months pause is losing money. You're not gonna lose money anymore. So do yourself a favor, stop and build and prove to yourself that you can actually do it. I hope you like this video and be my guest to send your questions. Alright, if I'm not gonna make a video on all of them, like I said, but if it's an intriguing question like this one and layered, it needs a whole video for it. Now I believe we reached the end. Happy trading and good luck.